Welcome back to the bedside table. Things are a little bit awry for this episode. There's actually several things that are different about this episode. Let's see if you can spot them. You probably spotted one right off the bat, and it's that my neon heart light is out of order. The heart is out of order for this episode, which is really funny because this episode's theme is love. This episode is going to be about love, and my heart light chose not to work today. And I sat here for the past 45 minutes just laying down here trying to get the little cables to go to the plus and the minus, and it comes on, but it's very difficult for it to stay on and for it to stay on the wall. So I just took the little cable out and I'm like, I'm going to put it up anyway, but it wouldn't be a bedside table episode if we didn't have something pink. So I recruited the help of Ebby, our teeny tiny headed teddy bear, and he suggested that we put up our little pink string lights from the podcast promos where you may recognize them from. Great job, Ebby. Freaking amazing. High five. It's okay, you tried. Ebby actually has a few things here for us today that we're going to get into because today's theme is love. And if you can't tell, I'm wearing a You Are Loved sweatshirt and specifically wearing my heart pajama pants. They're soft, they're fuzzy, they're comfortable, they're lovely. And my curls are just kind of doing their own thing today. I'm showing love to my curls because I have a little bit of a headache, and so they're not wrapped up very tight or anything because my hair is heavy and it hurts my head. So I'm letting the curls be a little wild because we love them, and I try to love them. No, we love them most of the time. Anyway, Ebby has some things for us today. Dorothy might be blocking them now, but I'm going to pull them out. And we're going to get into the topics. Just to start out, a little intro on love. I want to start with self-love because I stayed up late the other night. I stayed up a couple hours later than I'm trying to stay up, but I felt really good in my own company. I had this energy, which has been happening to me recently where I get a burst of energy late at night. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm trying to go to bed. It's one of my it's one of my 2024 intentions is to go to sleep before midnight or to at least be asleep by midnight. And for the most part, I'm doing really well. But yeah, a couple nights ago, I stayed up about till 2 a.m. because I just felt really good with my own company. I wanted to spend time with myself, and that might sound funny, but I wasn't ready to go to sleep. I just wasn't ready to leave myself yet, which obviously I'm not leaving myself when I'm asleep, but I wanted to spend time with me. And I was sitting here and I was like, well, I could read, I could meditate a bit, which is what I usually do before bed anyway. And then I thought, you know what I'm going to do? Excuse me, hold on one second. Sorry. I'm finally able to breathe. My head stuff is finally getting better after weeks. It's been so annoying. My head's been so stuffy and congested. It still is because the weather is ass and I hate it and I cannot wait for winter to be over. But I'm finally able to smell the candles that I light and breathe better throughout the day, and I'm not waking up with a whole bunch of phlegm in my face. So anyway, back on track. I wanted to spend time with myself, and I was like, well, what could I do? What could I do? And I ended up grabbing my playing cards, and I played Clock Solitaire. And if you don't know what Clock Solitaire is, it is a single-player card game. And you basically lay out the cards in a clock, and it's rare to win, but it's fun to play. And it's a little bit therapeutic for me. But what was interesting to me is when I was playing with the cards, it was just it started bringing back memories, a couple of memories, and distinctly, I'll talk about which ones. But hold on. Sorry, baby. I'm sorry, honey. That was loud, wasn't it? She doesn't like that noise at all. She also is not very... It's just the cards, honey. Baby, look. Look, honey, look. Look. That's all. That all it was. I'm sorry. I didn't even think about how that would scare the crap out of her. It's okay. Here, I'll set him down. There you go. That's all it was. It's just the cards, baby. And she's being so slow on the bed right now. I'm sorry, honey. It was just the cards. Well, what I was trying to show you before I scared the hell out of my cat. I'm sorry, baby. She's going to take some time to trust me again. It's just the cards. She's playing cards. Okay, she slow blinked at me. She's okay. But I was shuffling the cards, and it brought up some memories for me. And it brought up a couple of good memories. And these memories kind of started to link to other memories. And it was just like interesting. Because one of the first memories that it brought up is just when I first started playing cards. And I started thinking about, can I remember the first time I picked up a deck of cards and played a game with them? Nope, I can't. But I remember how much I enjoyed card games, and I have this distinct memory of me and my older brother, and we were young because I can see him in my mind, and he's young. And he's a year and a half older than me, so I know that I was young. And we were playing Go Fish, and that's kind of a regular thing that we would do is play cards. And of course, my dad taught me how to play poker, and my dad was really the one who got me into card games. My dad was really the one who got me into games in general. But yeah, it just brought up some good memories, and I put on a sweet jazz playlist on Spotify as I was playing Clock Solitaire, and something about it felt so good. It was simple. It was sweet. It was just me spending time with me, doing something that I don't do very often, which is play with my cards, which is something I used to do a lot. In school, I would play cards, and it brought me back to myself a little bit, if that makes sense. And that's something that I've been recognizing lately is I've been doing things that help me feel closer to me. I've been doing things that help me feel centered, that help me feel grounded, and I can notice when things take me away from that. I can notice when there are certain things or certain people that make me feel further from myself, or that make it more difficult for me to be centered with myself. And it's just an observation that I've been making, that I'm able to tell when I'm less with myself, when I'm less centered. But yeah, a little topic on self-love is just, it's, for me, I guess, I've kind of forgotten about these little things that can bring me back to myself. And I've been doing a lot of pampering. So I've been doing a lot of self-care and a lot of self-love. And I'm discovering more of those little things that help me feel close to myself and that help me enjoy my own company. And I think that's really what self-love and self-care is about. Are you enjoying your company? Excuse me. I need to move that up a little. And move this up a little. Okay. So I think when you're experimenting with self-care and with self-love, I think that's an important thing to remember or an important thing to ask yourself. Do you enjoy this? Are you enjoying this with you? Is this something that's like making you feel good about yourself? So I've been taking a lot of baths. I've rediscovered the magic and the comfort of the bath. I've been using my Epsom salt and bath bombs, and typically I will put on a face mask beforehand, set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes, and that's my bath time. I'll put on a playlist, usually something instrumental, so jazz or acoustic guitar or lo-fi, and I will just close my eyes and rest for like that 10 to 15 minutes, and that is my moment. That is my time. And I've been trying to do a bit more of that throughout my day. Just a little bit here and there of this is my time. So I've been cooking a bit more often. I've been cooking at home, mainly because I can't afford to eat out right now. But just because also it's nice to make myself a meal. It's nice to get in the kitchen and be like, all right, what do you want, girl? Let's eat. That's also a way that I spend time with me, and a way that I love myself and care for myself, as I feed myself. I feed myself good things. I've been making sandwiches. Like, I'm telling you, it's these simple basic things that I've just like gotten so lost, or just like kind of slipped out of my head, of just like how nourishing and how soul fulfilling simple things can be. So I've been making lunch meat sandwiches with spinach and kale, sliced tomato, didn't have any cheese. I just ordered groceries, didn't have any cheese, mayo, and potato chips. And then slicing up cucumbers, which is also another little thing that I'd completely forgotten about. When I was a kid, my grandmother, whenever we would go visit my grandparents, she would slice me up cucumbers on a plate, salt, pepper, and that was my snack. And I loved that. So I'm finding myself doing things that little me used to really enjoy, and that's helping me connect with those really simple things. Because if you think of yourself as a child, I feel like as a child, I don't have too many childhood memories, but as a child, I feel like it was a lot easier to be satisfied. Like, if you got this snack, it was like, yay. If you played this game, yay. If you got to go visit that friend, yay. It was a lot easier to be satisfied, and it was simpler. We all know that. We all know being an adult is seemingly more complex. So I've been taking it back to the basics without really realizing it until now. Just like sitting down and talking about it, is I'm realizing I'm doing these smaller, simpler things, and that's what's helping me feel more at peace with myself. That's what's helping me feel more fulfilled in my own company. Just these small little things. So, yeah, speaking of small little things and snacks, Ebby has something for us, because this is the topic of love. And I'm going through some things right now. So Ebby, thank you so much, Ebby. Ebby brought me a few cookies. So if I start to feel a little, if I start to feel some type of way, if I started getting my feels a little bit, I don't know why I just stacked them and then put them down. Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Ebby. If I start to get a little bit in my feels talking about these things, I have a little sweet snack to go to help center me to that just sweetness in myself, and that child in me, and that innocence in me, to help bring me back to that feeling of like, hey, it's okay. Everything's okay. It's all right. So that was meant to be a little intro, but we're going to keep going. We're going to keep talking on the topic of love. I wanted to start with self-love, but let's get into some other topics, shall we?
You got me feeling a fight. You got me feeling a fight. Like, how could I not think of you? You got me feeling a fight.
You want to text them every day? Do it. I've currently been talking to a couple of people, or I guess in my own life, these situations have sprung up where I've been in my head about something, where someone will text me and I'll be like, oh, I can respond right away. I'm going to respond right away. And something in my head will say, maybe you shouldn't respond right away. Because I mean, what? They haven't texted you back in like 40 minutes, 2 hours. They haven't texted you all day. And now they're texting you. And maybe you should like wait. We've all heard this thing. We've all seen it everywhere. Of like, oh, it took you 2 hours to text me back. Okay, well, I'm going to wait 6 hours. Okay, well, it took you this long to text me back. I'm going to wait even longer. Ha, that'll show them. Show them what? Show them what? That you're cool with not texting back urgently, that you're all right with them taking their time. You're going to take even longer to get back to them. If you have that mindset, what do you think they're thinking? If you think, oh, it took you 2 hours. I'm going to text you back in 6 hours. So you text them back in 6 hours. And let's say you both have the same mindset. Let's say you're both thinking that exact thing of like, oh, they took this long to text me back, so I'm going to take even longer. Then you know what happens? It's just like this growing space between this conversation when you could have just texted them back when you really wanted to, which was 15 seconds after they texted you, I'm sure. When you could have just texted them back, and whether or not they got back to you with the same kind of urgency or they didn't, who cares? Who cares? I mean, what are you showing them? And what do you want to show them? And who do you want to be? So you want to text them every single day? Text them every single day. You want to text them back immediately after they text you? Do it. Because what's wrong with that? It means that you care about talking to them, right? Don't we want the people that we want to talk to? Don't we want them to know that we care to talk to them? And if they take too long every time to text you back and you start to feel like, yo, I don't think you care as much as I do, like, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to talk to them. Okay, I'm getting a little off track here. Yo, okay, no, I'm actually on track, sure. Okay, yeah, so this is what I wrote down. It doesn't have to work out in any way for you to embrace being who you want to be. It doesn't have to work out in any kind of way. It doesn't have to end up somewhere, whatever it is. It does not have to work out for you to embrace texting them back right away, because isn't that what you want to do? I know that's what I do. That's what I want to do. So I had this thought in my head when someone texted me the other day, and this thought popped up of like, maybe you should wait. Maybe you should wait. And I just kind of kicked that thought out the door and said, I'm texting them back. I'm texting them back. Because if I text them back immediately or soon after they text me, it shows like, hey, maybe they will do the same. It shows them that I care about the conversation. It shows them that I actually do want to talk to them. And maybe they'll do the same. And if they don't, that's okay too. Again, it doesn't have to work out in any particular way for me to still be genuine and for me to still be who I want to be. I'm going to text you back as soon as I see your text, unless I'm busy or doing something for real. And even then, I'll probably text you back and say something like, oh, I'm busy or I'm at work or whatever it is. I'm still going to text you back. I don't care. We hear these words like clingy and attached. I'll be clingy if I want to be clingy. I'll be attached if I want to be attached, because I don't necessarily think these are bad things. Just as I've said before, anything can be a bad thing. Too much of anything can be a bad thing. Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. So I think to an extent, sure, we can be too clingy. We can be too attached. But also the capacity to be clingy and the capacity to be attached is kind of linked to our capacity to care for someone, the capacity to expand that care to somebody else. So if I text you back immediately, it's because I care about talking to you. If I find myself clingy and attached to you, it's because I care about you. And I don't find anything wrong with that. I think it's actually worse to try and cut that off from yourself, to try and tell yourself, oh, maybe I shouldn't be this kind of way, when it's like, this is your capacity for care showing up and you're kind of dialing it in and shutting it down. Now, of course, we don't want to be overbearing. So, sending text after text after text after text, if someone's not responding to us or if someone's not talking to us at all, I'm not going to get too far into that, but I'll just say, use your common sense. Because again, if someone cares about talking to you too, they'll respond. They may not be as urgent or as immediate as you, and that's okay. Remember, it doesn't have to work out in any kind of specific way, but just pay attention to, I guess, how someone communicates to how you communicate. So if you're texting back more frequently and more recent than they usually do, just kind of observe that and see and ask yourself if you're all right with that. And I feel like it's also just a conversation you can have too. I'm just like, hey, I like talking to you more often than you seem to like talking to me. Is that a thing, or are you just like busy? Or it doesn't even have to be that. It can just be like, are you busy? I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't going to get too far into it, but yeah. So I think if you want to talk to them every day, talk to them every day. You want to text them? Text them. Obviously, don't be overbearing and wild about it, but do it. Do the thing. Do it. Text them, tell them whatever, tell them you care. Now I'm getting off track. Moving on.
You got me feeling a fight. You got me feeling a fight. Like how could I not think of you? You got me feeling a fight. You got me feeling a fight.
All right, so for this next topic, I'm gonna take a cookie, not only because Ebby was kind enough to bring them to this episode today. Oh yeah, I didn't even tell you at the intro of the episode, the light was out and all this, and then we had the pink lights. It's daytime. Did y'all notice that? Did y'all notice that? The vibe of this episode is different, isn't it? But I'm okay. I'm trying it out. I did not mean for the light to break. I'll replace it soon, but we may have to stick with the pink string lights for now if you guys are okay with it. I hope that's okay for now. I will be replacing the heart light though when I get a chance. But yeah, it's daytime. Did you guys realize? Usually I record these at night, but yeah, different feel, different vibe. I also just got up and I was like, I'm recording now. I had the feeling of like, sit down and record. So yeah, so I'm here. But for this next topic, as I was saying, I'm going to start with a cookie. And if I get my feels, if I start crying, it is what it is. And hopefully you'll be understanding of that, because this isn't a place where we hide anything like that. This isn't a place where we suppress any of that. This is a space where I can be myself and I can express myself honestly and authentically with you, with all of you, because I want to be sure that you know that that's okay. So, and I want to make sure that I know that that's okay. So I'm starting with a cookie. All right, let's get into it. You can't make people love themselves, but it won't stop me from loving them. This has been a really tough, I say a tough couple of months for me. It's kind of been a tough few years for me. And I don't want to get too deep into anything specific, but when someone doesn't see in themselves what you see in them, it's hard to make them see it. This doesn't mean we can't try. This doesn't mean that we can't support them. This doesn't mean that we can't admire them and express gratitude for who they are and the qualities that we enjoy in them. I feel like that's something I could do more. Just admiring someone's qualities that we see, that we love about them. So if you love someone's generosity, if you love someone's kindness, if you love someone's playfulness, tell them, because I feel like so many of us need to hear more of that. We need to hear more of how loved our qualities are. But something that I've struggled with, specifically within a previous relationship of mine, was loving them and them just kind of not accepting that. And what's funny is that I can really understand this because I've been there. I've been someone who's been loved and cared for and has rejected it, pushed it away because I myself didn't feel worthy of it. Didn't really know how to accept it. So it was just like, it just felt strange and scary in a sense. And I think I had so much more filling me up. I had so many more emotions filling me up. I had so much more I had to pay attention to. Like my plate was full. And if that makes sense. So it was difficult for me to even understand like all of the sadness and the pain that I was dealing with, and that itself was overwhelming. So for someone to try and be loving and caring toward me, it was just like, I don't have room for this. If that makes sense, that's what I kind of meant. And that may not be particularly what this person was going through, because I don't know entirely, but it's hard. It's hard to love somebody who doesn't feel worthy of it or who doesn't believe it. But it doesn't stop me. It doesn't stop me from loving them. And what's really difficult about that is just kind of coming to terms with, well, I can't make them accept this love that I have to offer. I can't make them understand that it is real. I can't make them understand that I do care. And I don't know about you, but when I really love and care about somebody, knowing that they don't believe me or knowing that they think that it isn't real, it's just kind of an extremely difficult thing. Because I love so hard, When I love so much. And what I really don't like about it is it makes me feel like I need to shrink that. If that makes sense. It makes me feel like maybe the capacity I have to love isn't as great as I thought. Maybe the love that I feel isn't genuine. Like, it makes me question myself and doubt myself. And just like I was talking about before, it's one of those things that kind of takes me away from me. Because I know how hard I love. I know how big I love. My capacity for love is endless. And I believe that about all of us. But I also know the flip side of how hard it is to tap into that and recognize your own capacity to love. So it's not like I hate them for not loving themselves. It hurts me that they don't. Because I do so much. And it especially hurts when you realize it's something you have to walk away from. because it's hurting you. Going back to that same thing of you can't make someone love themselves. You can be there, you can support them, you can love them. But I think once it crosses this threshold of, okay, now it's hurting me. Now it's hurting me. Now it's making me question myself. Now it's making me doubt my own love. And I don't want that. And again, like I said, it's not like I hate them for it. I could never. But it's a difficult situation to be in. Especially when you begin to realize there's like nothing I can do anymore. There's like nothing I can say, nothing I can do to make you do anything toward loving and accepting yourself. Like that's someone's personal path. That's someone's personal journey. And we have no say in that. Again, we can support them. We can love them. We can't walk their journey for them. And we can't we can't make them hop on the journey of self-love and self-care and all of this. We can't. And sometimes it's heartbreaking. Because this isn't the first situation in my life that I've had to walk away from or that I've been forced out of. Because I'm on my own little path right now. And there's nothing that's going to stop me from continuing to grow and continuing to learn to love myself. There's nothing that's going to stop me. And unfortunately, some people are going to shed away because of that. And it sucks. It does. And it hurts. But I never want to stop expanding my capacity to love, to care. Because I want to love everybody. You know what I'm saying? I want to love everyone. I want everyone to know just how loved that they are. I want to spread it as far as I possibly can. Because it's endless. It's endless. I'm going to take a quick break. And then I'll be back.
Like how could I not think of you? You got me feeling some type of way from the songs. It's too early days and I can't seem to keep my mind off of you. It comes and it goes, but it's never gone. How can I go on without you?
Well, it's a good thing Ebby brought those cookies, isn't it? Thank you, Ebby. Oh, yeah. I had a feeling that, because I wrote down these topics beforehand, and I had a feeling that second one was gonna hit me a little hard, so didn't expect it to be that much. But again, like I said, this is not a space where I'm hiding or suppressing anything. Because I want all of you who watch and listen to know that it's completely okay to express however you feel, especially in your own space. It's totally okay. That's something I've struggled with my whole life, is not even feeling comfortable to cry or to express certain things and emotions in my own space. So I'm getting more comfortable with that, and if you struggle with that, I hope that you can find more comfort in expressing whatever it is that you need to express in a safe place, in a safe space. So, last and final thing that I want to talk about is a cute, lighthearted topic to follow up our our deeper topics, which I think is a perfect way to end these kinds of episodes, or I guess this specific episode. Perfect way to end it. I'm going to be talking about my type. Because this episode is about love. I'm going to be talking about the type of people that I love. But no, I was watching a movie the other day. I say the other day. I think it was around the end of December. Yeah, it was around Christmas. I was watching a movie. I want to say it's called Love and Monsters with Dylan O'Brien in it. I want to say it's Love and Monsters. And I watched that, and it took me a few days to watch it all the way through, just because I was busy, especially around Christmas time. I was just busy doing stuff. And I paused it, and I was like, you know what? I do have a type, because I don't know. I don't know what got me thinking about my type at that particular time. But I was just like, I have a type. Whoopsies. And I was thinking about it because these are my top 3 favorite actors. We have Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's in Inception. He's in 500 Days of Summer. I'm just trying to name some things that maybe you'll know him from. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Excuse me. Dylan O'Brien, Maze Runner, other ones. Maze Runner is the only one I could think of that's gonna be a big one that you'll know from. Dylan O'Brien. And then Miles Teller. Miles Teller's in Whiplash. He's in what's that movie with him and Zac Efron? And I can't remember what it's called, but it's a really good rom-com. It's really good, and I really love him in it. But Miles Teller, Whiplash, that's a big one. He's in one with what is his name? Jonah Hill. But I think it's War Dogs? Is it called War Dogs? Y'all probably know what I'm talking about if that's not the right name. But anyway, so my top 3, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Dylan O'Brien, and Miles Teller. And what I've noticed is that they're all dark-haired boys. So dark hair, pretty eyes, goofy. Gotta be goofy. But also, I like dudes with just a little bit of a weird face. Because I was like, if you look at Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Dylan O'Brien, Miles Teller, they have a little bit of a weirdness to their face. So I was like, guys with a little bit of a weird face. Okay, cool. I can dig it. Obviously, I do dig it. But I thought it was funny. Honestly, though, when I think about types and stuff, I think we do find ourselves attracted to people who we find ourselves more attracted to certain kinds of people. I definitely think so. But personally, for me, I think the people that I find myself attracted to, there is that physical component when it's just like first impression attraction. When you first see someone, you're like, oh, yeah, they're attractive. But I think what really makes somebody attractive is just because I've been attracted to all sorts of people. All sorts of people. And it's just the energy that they give off. It's the vibes. It's how I feel when I'm around them. It's how easily can I have a conversation with this person? How easily can I have fun with this person? How easily can I laugh with this person? How easily can I share with this person? There's so much more that goes into someone being attractive to me than just looks. And like I said, we're all human beings, don't get me wrong. I'm attracted to looks too. But I think for a long-term attraction, it's gotta be about more than just that pretty face or that pretty body, honey. You gotta bring more to the table than that. Which makes it awesome, if you think about it. It's awesome. Because then it's literally anybody can be attractive. Anybody. You know the cliche, it's not what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside. I think it's a little bit of both, but long term, it's definitely more about what's on the inside. It's definitely more about the connection. For me, personally. Yeah, that was just a little lighthearted ending because it was a bit of a deeper episode than I thought it was going to be. Bit more of an emotional episode, but let me know how you guys like the daytime episodes. I don't know if it feels much different than the other ones. Let me know how you like the pink string lights. I know it's different. I'm sorry. I do plan on getting the heart light replaced because I love my heart light. I love it. I was really freaking bummed, but we improvised, and I think we ended up with a good episode anyway. I've been feeling a little bit down, if you can't tell, for the past couple of days, and I'm going through a lot. I'm going through a lot all at once. I'm going through a lot of different emotions all at once. But I'm just embracing it and taking it one day at a time. And I've been holding this Oreo for I don't know how dang long. Hey, I only ate one though. Heyo. Good for me. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 6 of the Bedside Table. Really, I appreciate you being here, whether you're watching or whether you're listening. I really do appreciate you. This is how we're going to spread the love. This is how we're going to do it. Through the podcast, I'm going to reach eyes and ears worldwide. And the love will be known across the world. That's the dream. That's the dream. And for all of you now listening and watching, if you made it to the end, I just want you to know how much I love you and care about you and how loved and cared about you are by so many people. And if you feel like, no, there's nobody there, hello, I'm here. And my capacity to love is endless. So I love you, and I know there are people in your life who love you too. But if you feel like there aren't, I'm here, and I will always love you. And thank you so much again for being here for another episode of The Bedside Table. Oh, I'm going to go play some games and show myself some love today and go do something that you love today. Even a little small thing. Make yourself a sandwich. Put some potato chips on it. It's freaking delicious. Soup that sandwich up. Lettuce, tomato, maybe some onion, cheese. Really make yourself a good sandwich. I promise. It's freaking delicious. All right. Once again, thank you so much for being here. And I will see you in next week's episode of The Bedside Table. Bye.